What's up guys, it's me Strawhead Nate and I'm back this week with a new One Piece chapter video. This time we have chapter 1155 of One Piece titled The Rox Pirates. So this chapter basically shifts away from the long Loki backstory on Elbaf to tell the legendary story of Rox Xebec. While yes, Prince Loki is still involved in the chapter, the main character really seems to be Rox, a pirate who we've been waiting to learn about for years. This chapter does not disappoint when it comes to showing the insane feats that Rox, the legendary chaotic pirate, has. In fact, we even get to see that he comes face to face with the king of the world, Emu, and actually lived to tell the story. So if you want to know what this encounter entailed between these two powerful demonic figures, stay till later in this video. Now let's get into the chapter after you like the video and subscribe to the channel. The cover this week is a double page color spread breaking the long streak of the cover series, and it shows the Straw Hats all walking on ladders above a city, unlike any city from the manga, more like a city from the real world. Now we start the actual chapter though with Loki and Rox having their conversation that we left last chapter with. Loki is super surprised because this is his first time seeing regular humans. He's been surrounded by giants all his life. And Rox, seeing a child in such a injured state, demands him to go up to his parents and clean his wounds, but Loki doesn't want to. Instead, Loki attempts to attack the legendary pirate Rox, which was definitely a mistake on his part. Rox blocks his attack with his sword, showing a very strange and uniquely powerful sword ability that makes shockwaves with his attack. Then the narrator interrupts in order to contextualize the arrival of Rox on Elbaf, showing all the reasons why the world government hates this man. So we go back 8 years from this moment where he meets Loki, 56 years back from present day, and Rox is causing catastrophe up at the Reverie. First, it was already said last chapter that he killed an admiral of the Marines, a feat that puts him among some of the top strongest characters in the manga already. Then he has the audacity to kidnap 5 different random kings at the Reverie, showing his reckless personality. And then we cut to him inside the garden in the Castle Pangea, where he's face to face with Emu. Emu doesn't really care about the 5 hostage kings that Rox was trying to use as bargaining, but Emu is still angry at the man for getting so far up into the Holy Land. Rox tells the king of the world, Emu, that he will be back one day before he leaves. And he also tells Emu before he goes that he's a huge fan of Davy Jones, who we know to be the founder of the Davy Back fight, the fight that Luffy and Foxy had way back in the Long Ring Long Land arc, where the winner takes crew members of the other team. So we'll see later that this comes back with Rox. And inside the garden, we also see that Emu's servant happens to be the God's Knight Gunko, who Emu is currently controlling on the present day Elbaf, so their connection definitely runs really deep. Now cutting outside of the castle, we see that Rox and Harold clash their weapons as they both try to escape, and this clash destroys a 5-kilometer range of houses, creating a hockey blast on the same level as the clash between Roger and Whitebeard, and I'm assuming all of these guys are in the same power range. We learned last chapter that Harold also snuck into this reverie, so I don't really understand why he would be fighting Rox if not just for the fun of it. And Rox is also inspired by Harold, the king of the giants' power, and he wants to meet him again someday. And this ties together why Rox might be asking Prince Loki to speak to his father, because he admired his power one day that they clashed. But the feats from Rox Xebec are definitely not over just yet, because in the very next scene we see that he destroyed the Gates of Justice, the ginormous gates that connect various marine bases. And this is the first time we've ever seen anything like this, because when Luffy had to get through the gates, he just had Bone Clay pull the lever to open it automatically, but Rox, he just cut right through it. Even Rox's ship that he's traveling on, at least at the beginning of his pirating career, was stolen from the Celestial Dragons up in Marijois, proving that he doesn't care at all about how high his bounty gets and how much the government hates him. It is explained here by the narrator that Rox built his entire crew using Davy back fights. Now, back on Elbaf, Harald actually did come home for his son Loki after Loki's attempt to kill himself, and we see that there are 6 members of Rox's crew here on Elbaf with them, all powerful figures stolen by Davy back fights. These crew members include future Emperor Edward Newgate, aka Whitebeard, the Golden Lion Shiki, Miss Buckingham Stussy, West Sea Gang leader Don Marlin, pirate cult leader Wang Ji, and the smuggler pirate Ganzui. The 3 later guys we're way less familiar with than the first 3. And all of these pirates, though, seem to be very interested in the money side of things, which is the reason why they're enthusiastically supporting Rox. They even discuss their next plans to take Hachinosu, which we know they will do in a few years. Then there is a private conversation between Rox and King Harold inside of the castle, and Rox wants Harold, a giant way more powerful than any human on his crew, to join his crew, but Harold humbly denies because he has his own duties as the king of a nation. Rox has aspirations to take over the world, so he's very disappointed that he can't get such a strong man on his side. But Loki, who's been eavesdropping on the conversation the entire time, is super excited and inspired by Rox's large dreams. This is the moment when Loki's depression sort of gets reversed because of all of the hope that Rox brings him. And then the chapter ends with a narration saying that 4 years from this day, 44 years back from present day, Rox will take Pirate Island Hachinosu under his control, which stays under him at least until the events of God Valley 38 years ago. And that's where this chapter ends, though. It was a huge chapter for power scaling for characters like Rox Xebec, but I'm not really into that side of the fandom. All I know is that this legendary pirate was an absolute menace. Rox is basically the antithesis of the world government, Emu, and the Marines, to the point where it makes hella sense why they erased him from the history books. It's a little disappointing that we didn't get to see a team up between Rox and Harold, 2 insane fighters that are the main priority of this backstory, but that's alright. Next chapter, we'll definitely get back into the regular Elbaf flashback following Prince Loki's life, but there won't be another chapter for a couple weeks because there is a break. So if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to show your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.